Hey guys, Dr. Drunk aka here with a game for you in my Tier 9 Premium US Destroyer, USS Benham. Divvied up with Ryguy in his Alaska, a very angry beaver in his Alsace. We are on North, it is Domination. Now, what do you need to know about the Benham? Pretty simply, USS Benham was a reward ship for the, I think it was the Savage Battles event. It's got to be like 14 or 15 months ago at this point. But the Benham is a the Benham is a U.S. torpedo boat. She has the ability to drop 16 torpedoes, 8 from each side, approximately every 65 to 69 seconds. So, that being said, what is the Benham good at? The Benham, the best thing the Benham is good at, the Benham is very good at actually denying large swaths of area because of the torpedoes. They are Fletcher torpedoes, which means they have a 10.5 kilometer range, and they are quite nasty when they hit. Also worth noting, we're in a game with panoramics, and the CV who escapes, the name escapes me right now, but he is a very good Enterprise player, and that is pretty well known on the server. Our CV plays very little role in this game, in fact gets himself killed very early, but this will be a simple exercise in showing how a good destroyer can really help carry a team to victory, even when there's a lot of questionable play going on. As you can see, I run RPF on this build. I also run a maximum torpedo reload, and as you can see, it's 1 minute and 5 seconds, so it's a 65-second reload on these torpedoes. We're going to dump these torpedoes down the slot. Very frequently, you have cruisers or battleships that try to set up on the north end of the island, about E4, E3, somewhere in that neighborhood, so sometimes you can catch them unaware and get a few torpedoes off on them. Very frequently, you also have destroyers that try to come down the slot here, along the 4 line, and that can be very amusing to catch them off guard as well. We see the Marceau is in A, and our... what is that, a Holland? That is a Holland. Our Holland decides he wants to try and gunfight a Marceau. This is not going to go well. I mean, that doesn't even require a lot of thought to know that that's not going to go well. We dump widespread torpedoes here, and that's a technique I like to call going fishing. Widespread torpedoes can very frequently catch destroyers off guard, especially if they're not assuming there's anything here. Marceau is retreating. He's not pushing into the cap, so chances are we're not going to get anything here. But we'll throw them out anyway, just in case. Doesn't hurt to throw them out, especially with the torpedo reload on the Benham. There's really no issue with putting torpedoes out early and often. It's kind of like voting in Chicago when the daily regime was a thing. Vote early and vote often. On the other side of the map, you can see our team is not pushing whatsoever. They are not playing the objectives. Our Shimakaze is not interested in playing C. And, I mean, I can understand it with an Östergötland there, but that's really the only thing that is there to spot him. He also, the Östergötland does not have smoke, and there's also an Amalfi, the CV, a Bismarck, and an Iowa, although the Bismarck and the Iowa are significantly out of position. Cleveland is pushing for the island at E5. We want to stay outside of his radar range while we drop torpedoes on this Ohio, which appears to be straight lining directly down the 4 line. Remember a couple minutes ago I said that ships love to straight line down the slot. Once they think they've won the A side, they like to push right down the slot. The thing with the Benham is, and you can see right there, I drop my right side, my starboard side torps, and then I just wiggled my ass to drop the port side torpedoes as well. Results in something known as the Benham shake, which you'll see many, many times. You'll see me do this quite frequently. The torpedo angles on the Benham are disgusting, if you will. It has really, really impressive torpedo angles, and it allows you to essentially just do circles. I think the turning circle radius is about 600 meters, maybe. Lets you do circles and just drop torpedoes all the time. Unfortunately, no flood on that second set of torps for the Ohio. We're going to drop these anyway in case he slows down as he pushes into B. You can see Angry Beaver is pushing into B as well to try and head that Cleveland off the pass. We're going to drop torpedoes on the corner of the island here. Mainly to deny the Yamato. But there's also a potential. I'm looking at my RPF and I'm thinking, I see that RPF moving from my left to right across the screen, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I'll get lucky on those, maybe not. Would be nice if we could get that Holland and get rid of him. And of course, the Marceau pops up on 2,200 hit points, and the Yami does his best impression of the Secret Service with a "Get down, Mr. President!" and promptly eats 4 of those torpedoes, spots them, and eats them, of course. So the Marceau lives to fight another day. The Frederick the Great is capturing C. The Oosterjotland is dead. Beaver is pushing straight through B. And I remember during this game, you know, we were discussing it in Discord, and he's going, oh, by the way, as the Frederick the Grosse takes care of our carrier, no surprise, our CV was not exactly the best player, and he was caught out of position. So, always a great thing to lose your carrier 7 minutes into the game. But I do remember Beaver saying, I wonder if I can get a drive-by on this Ohio. Maybe get this Ohio out of the match. That would be a good trade. A Tier 9 French battleship for a Tier 10 steel or Research Bureau battleship would be a great thing. So let's see what we can do here. Unfortunately, the drive-by doesn't work. Not sure what happened there. The Ohio pops him as he goes by, but he does manage to pop the Holland as he spots the Holland, and the Marceau comes up, and Beaver's going to go down here, but Beaver's going to make a clutch play, and he's going to kill that Marceau, which is actually very, very important, because we really don't have a destroyer that can hunt the Marceau. Our CV is dead, so that's actually an incredibly clutch kill to get that Marceau off the board. We still have a Holland. We have this Yami posted up, like I said, at the top of the island about E3, E4. Now, there is one problem, and I make a mistake here. There's nothing to the north of me. The Ibuki dies by the Alaska. I should have turned north. I was being greedy trying to get my torps off, but the way torpedo spreads tend to be somewhat random, it leaves a nice battleship-sized gap, and of course torpedoing the nose of any kind of ship is going to make this a lot tougher to actually land your fish. What I should have done was turn north along the 2-3 line and just gotten that broadside. Newsflash for me, the Yami does not really accelerate too quickly, so getting his broadside wouldn't be hard. He's certainly not going to push out in front of a Stalingrad and Alaska with a Monty and a Kurfürst hiding in the wings. I mean, the Kurfürst's kind of out of the game right now, but it's still possible. But the Montana can definitely do some damage. I get greedy, and again, I'm trying to keep my torpedoes on cooldown. That means I'm launching torps any given chance that I have, even if I have to launch them at the Yamato's bow. Now, in this case, my port side torpedoes are reloaded. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. I see the Holland torps come out and push towards the Stalingrad, and I'm thinking, Jesus, that means the Holland has come back. So who's in... And Cleveland pops up in B, and that proves exactly what I was thinking, that the Cleveland is what is in B. I also have a problem here where I have 3 battleships. I have a Tirpitz, I have an Ohio, I have a Yamato. So I pop my speed boost. I'm trying to get onto this Yami's broadside. The Stalingrad pops his radar, and that shows the location of the Holland. Interesting. Yami is playing with his throttle. He's trying to dodge these torpedoes. The Stalingrad and the Yami are engaged in a bow-on fight. Meanwhile, the Holland is doing Holland things. And this right here, guys, this is a Benham's wet dream. 2 battleships pushing into the same general spot. We're going to land a few more torpedoes on this Yamato, and this Yamato is going to decide he'd like to go back to port. 2 more torps, and that's our first kill. Now we have about 75,000 worth of hit points here between the Ohio and the Tirpitz, and this is exactly what I mean by the Benham shake. Fire off the starboard side of the port side torpedoes. We swing the butt around. Starboard side is reloaded, and we can drop these into the path of these unfortunate battleships. Ohio eats a pair of those. He goes down to about 20, about 10. Is that about 10,000? I can't tell. Tirpitz is in the exact same. He's about 20,000. The Tirpitz is in the same vicinity, so we can start torpedoing him as well. We could be using widespread here, but we're looking for kills at this point. We are down by about 125 points. We want to even that up as quickly as possible. Tirpitz is continuing to push towards Stalingrad. Stalingrad is not going to push towards the Tirpitz, not at full speed, so we can drop these, and there's no real reason to worry about him eating them. The Ohio's a very, very friendly fella, and he decides he's going to eat a couple of these for me. There's our second kill. And just like that, Stalingrad nukes the Tirpitz, and suddenly we are in the clear. The only thing we have over here is a Holland. On the other side of the map, our team has been doing a great job of cleaning up. Shimakaze is going to head towards B. Our Kurfürst and our Bismarck are going to duel with the Freddy and the Henri. And of course, our Bismarck goes down to the Freddy's secondaries. Now, unbeknownst to myself at the time, and the Shimmy does torpedo the Freddy, which is excellent. Stalingrad has RPF as well, which I did not know at the time. I do find this out a little bit later. But we're going to try and gunfight a Holland. The difference is we have smoke, and the Stalingrad has spotting on the Holland until at least he gets out of his gun range or sneaks behind my smoke cloud, which he's going to do here in just a moment. Now, Benham guns are nothing to be proud of, to be honest. However, they are still American 127s. They still do have a decent alpha, and you have 4 of them. Reload is not great. As I said, the Benham is basically a torpedo boat. However, she does do just fine with guns, and as you notice, this is about the first time I've used them because it's the first time I've needed to become spotted. The Holland does know where I am. Holland knows where the Stalingrad is, and the Holland has already flooded the Montana. So we are going to, quote, go fishing, and we're going to hunt this Holland. I have a Stalingrad behind me. I have absolutely no fear of this guy. You know, he had 7,000 hit points before the Stalin nails him. He's down to 4,500 now. He's literally 1/3 of my hit points, and he's running away. It'll take him time to get his guns turned. He doesn't want to get his guns turned, because if he fires, he's spotted. So we're going to finish the job here. Stalin and I are going to finish the job. Now, as you'll notice, their Enterprise has been slowly picking on the Shimakaze and the Grosser Kurfürst. He's been picking on ships that have been able to affect the outcome of the match. Thankfully, our Shima has been elusive enough that the Enterprise has been forced to chase him. By forcing the Enterprise to chase him, he keeps planes away from myself and the low-health Stalingrad. And as you can see, the planes are heading towards B cap, where the Shima is. He knows that B was just capped. He saw the smoke. He's going to chase the Shima around B. So thankfully, because the Shima has been keeping him busy, we have been able to handle the A side. So now you can see, once the Shimakaze has managed to keep him busy, he decides, look, I've got a Stalingrad on 30,000 hit points. Look, it's an Enterprise. I have AP bombers. Maybe I can do something with this. And you're going to see, here's the counterplay to CVs, folks. I'm right next to that Stalingrad. I pop my AA. I can just sit here for a little while. All right, that Enterprise is a tier 8 ship. It doesn't matter how good his planes are. It doesn't matter how tanky his planes are. It doesn't matter how good his plane regen is. That's a tier 10 cruiser with defensive AA. All right, that Enterprise is not going to be able to do a whole lot of damage to myself. In fact, more than likely, with a Kurfürst on 27,000 hit points and AP bombers on deck, he's going to go after the Kurfürst, which makes sense. First drop, he only does about 6k. Kurfürst has a hell of a lot of superstructure, and those turret roofs are pretty tough nuts to crack, really. He can't go after the Shima because he's got AP bombs. What's the point of going after the Shima? He's going to have another go with the Kurfürst, and honestly, this is something I've never seen before. To be perfectly frank, this Kurfürst just does not want to die. This guy was basically saying, you know, Zenek actually is the Enterprise. Most of you will know him on the NA server. But this Kurfürst is essentially saying, what do we say to the God of Death? We say, not today, Satan. And this is actually amazing, guys. This is fantastic. Kurfürst on 14,750, dead even. Shima's going to stay in C and cap C. It's going to ensure that we win this game. There's no way this Enterprise is going to be able to do this. He's going to drop on the Kurfürst, who is healing, and he's going to get a couple of torps in there, and I can't tell if he floods him or not. It's hard to tell at this point because he is healing. But he's going to come in again. He's going to get another drop off on him. The Kurfürst is at, what, about 23,000 here? 24. And he's going to be down to about 11k, 11.5k. No flood, it looks like. Now, to further the concept that destroyers win games, if you look at our team, what did our team do that the enemy team did not do? We had 2 DDs that lived. We had 2 destroyers that lived until the end of the game. You can see the rocket planes come in. Kurfürst down to 3160. And this is gonna be absolutely amazing, guys. You can see it right out of the corner here. You're gonna see the planes come back in. He gets down to 340, and he's gonna come around again. All right, this Enterprise has got to get the kill here. This is gonna be the end. The guy always says it, dude. You just won't die. And he's down to 27 hit points. 27. Hats off to the Kurfürst that just wouldn't die. This guy, like, if you sneeze on this Grosser Kurfürst, he's going to explode. Funniest thing about the entire matter is very simply that he is going to get a heal off. And he, spoiler alert, he lives to the end of the match. So as I was saying, what did our team do that the enemy team did not do? We have destroyers alive, folks. I can't say this enough. DDs win games. Between myself and that Shima, DDs win games. CV left me alone on the 1-2 line, and I was able to basically lock down the entire flank. My torpedoes were creating an area of denial all the way from the 1 line to about the 4-5 line. So telling anybody that destroyers do not win games is ridiculous. Anybody who thinks that DDs are, to blame for every loss, anybody who complains about destroyer quality really needs to consider playstyle and function. 160,000 points of damage. We managed to pull off a win. Time expires. That's 160,000 points of damage, 10,500 experience, 2,200 commander experience. That's 2 kills, 17 torpedoes. And, of course, 835,000 credits. Good enough for top of the team. 1 point above that curve first that just did not want to die. Compliments to that guy. Good job. And again, 2 DDs doing most of the work. Guys, we do play all of these on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/DrDrunk, aka. Stop by, drop a follow. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Helps us out a lot. Until then, boys, Dr. Drunk telling you it is last call. You do not have to go home, but you can't stay here. See you.